Leeds United, just like the team we were talking about earlier on, Crystal Palace, have a lot to do to get themselves into a healthier area of the Premier League. Of course, the aim is to survive and start again in the Premier League next season, but they've got it all to do. Bielsa's come and gone. Jesse Marsch has come and gone. The new man in charge, Javi Gracia, is in there, but it's been a mixed bag under him. In 3 games, won 1, drawn 1, lost 1. Earlier on, I spoke to Leeds defender Luke Ayling. I really like Luke. A good chat we had as well. And I said to him, all right, this man is now in charge, Javi Gracia. What's life like under him?
I think it's been good so far. I think we're playing a style of football which suits the players that we got, which is good. I think it's been a positive start. Obviously it's people say that it's only 4 points, but we are down there fighting for our lives. So 4 points is quite it's a good return. If you look at the teams that we've played, Chelsea away was always going to be a hard game. I know they're going through a bit of a spell, but they can turn it on at any stage. And Brighton are one of the best teams in the league at the minute, so to get a point there and to beat Southampton at home was a good result. So I feel like that we're in a good spot.
Javi Gracia compared to Jesse Marsch, how different are the two of them?
They are very different in the style of plays that they want to play. I think we play with the wide players a bit wider now, but just in that really he wants us to play a bit more and trust ourselves on the ball a little bit more, which is nice because we're good footballers in there, and I feel like that we've showed that in the last 3 games. So we're still working to try and get where he wants us to be, but he's only been in the job a couple of weeks, and I feel like it's gone well.
From 12th to bottom of the Premier League, there's 5 points, Luke, separating the teams. I mean, have you ever known a relegation battle like this?
No, it could it's a very strange season in that way. Obviously were in a relegation battle last year, but if you look at it, it was probably 3 or 5 teams maybe throughout the whole back end of the season. So it's a really strange situation that it could be really 3 from 8 really. So we know that we just got to concentrate on ourselves and try and win as many games as we can and just keep trying to climb that table, we kind of climbed out of it when we got the result against Southampton and then dropped back in because it's so tight. So we can't really bog ourselves down of where we are in the league because it's so tight. We know if we win on the weekend, then we can shoot up a few spaces. So we just got to concentrate on ourselves.
I mean, I suppose that's the only way to look at it, Luke, isn't it? I mean, 2 wins could change everything.
Yeah, of course. That's what we are saying, but I would imagine that's what every other team down there are saying, and wins are hard to come by. I think we've only won 5 games this season, so we are going to have to keep working hard and try and get a 3 points and then start climbing up the table.
It must have been demoralising, Luke. Like last weekend, Bournemouth, they only go and beat Liverpool. Southampton only go to Old Trafford, get a point. You must be thinking, what have we got to do to get a break here?
Yeah, but just we know that in our next 12 games or 11 games is it that there'll be more ups and downs, twists and turns, so we can't get ourselves bogged down. If we're there, I think Bournemouth played the 12:30 game. We can't be sat there thinking, oh no, they're winning because then we'll go into the game with bad feeling already. So we just had to blank that out and try and win our games. That's what it's going to be for the rest of the season. We can't just worry about what other teams are doing because there's 8 teams down there. So if you're looking at every result, you're going to be spending a lot of time on your phone over the next few weeks.
You won't need any reminding, but I mean, Leeds United, you've won the fewest games in the Premier League. You know that, we know that. But is it impossible, virtually, Luke, to gain any confidence as a group when seemingly momentum is difficult to achieve?
In spells this year, we've done well and not got the results. I know probably every team would say that. They would say that things ain't gone their way and stuff. So we've got to try to take them positives from the games. And we're playing well at the minute. We're making chances. I think first goals in games are massive. And then if we can get that first goal in a game, then it changes the game. So we just have to keep plugging away, and we know that we got a certain amount of games to go, and that's what we'll do.
This international break that's coming up then, from your perspective, is it coming at a good time or a bad time?
I think it's coming at a good time. Then, like, we know we got a massive game on Saturday, but then we got 2 weeks to work with a new gaffer, so he can try and get his point across a little bit more. Then I know it's hard with people going on internationals, but he can still work with the players here and really then like get his ideas across. So, Justin, I feel like it's coming at a good time.
I suppose, Luke, I've saved the toughest one to last. What can you point to that gives you confidence and the Leeds United fans confidence that you'll stay in the Premier League?
Just that we've been here last season, then like we was in this situation last year, then like around the same kind of stage, and then like we pulled through, and we've got players coming back from injuries now. Then like we had a lot of our older players out over the last few weeks, and we was going very young into teams, so we got a lot of them players coming back. Then like I feel like we're playing okay, and then like if we get the first goal in a game, or then like we get a little bit of luck in a game, then like things can change for us, and then like I feel like that's what we got to put our minds to.
And you've always got that support, haven't you?
Yeah. But then like, our fans home and away, they're there. They sing from minute 1 to 90th minute, so then like Justin, like we know that we got them on our sides.
Enjoyed that. Luke Ayling, Leeds United, was speaking to me earlier on. Simon, why is it unlike Leeds in this situation? Other clubs can come up, stabilise, get used to the surroundings of the Premier League and think, yeah, we feel quite at home here and life carries on, and yet others toil. And Leeds United are toiling.
It's alchemy, I think, isn't it? I mean, you've got Fulham going up in previous seasons and going straight back down again. You've had other clubs that have gone into the Premier League and done something significant in their first season, like Sheffield United, and got relegated the second. It's, again, about player recruitment. It's about the right management. Interesting. I do find it interesting sometimes, though. I'm not trying to be clever here, but how footballers talk in certain platitudes. You know, we're playing this brand of football that we all enjoy playing. You're second for bottom of the league. I mean, great that you're enjoying playing it, but your team's second bottom of the league. That'll be scant consolation when you're in the Championship.
Or maybe get better at that brand of football.
Or maybe get better at that brand of football. I mean, I am a great admirer of Leeds United as a football club. I think they're a potential powerhouse of a football club with this, you know, this passionate fan base steeped in great history and achievements in the past. But to my mind, it doesn't make a lot of sense as to the reasons why. But there's also this sort of not kamikaze style of football that they've played. There's this bravery that sometimes you do have to rein it back in a little bit every now and again. Yeah. It's great to be the team that other people want to watch, because you do want to watch Leeds United. They are a very interesting side to watch. They're a very engaging side to watch. But when you're struggling in the first season, you're then struggling even worse in the second season. If you keep, you know, flying close to a bit like Icarus, flying close to the sun, you're going to get burnt in the end, aren't you? And you're now flying close to the sun again on the second season, and you would have thought that with some of the players they've got there, and they haven't spent enormous amounts of money, but there's so much riding on this, you know, and they are probably going to leave the club if it stays in the Premier League with an acquisition structure that's in place, not possibly there if it's in the Championship. There's so much going on, perhaps behind the scenes. You hear things about players that are being sold by one particular part of the football club that the other part of the football club may not want them to sell, and around you go. But I certainly think that Leeds United shouldn't be in this position. It has to be about managerial recruitment.
But you touched on it there, though, Simon. A drop into the Championship potentially surely will impact the ownership model that is there at this time, I mean, under Andrea Radrizzani.
Well, it certainly might influence the price of the acquisition of people's shares if they're finding themselves in a completely different division with a completely different income stream. But that notwithstanding, you would always then, if the worst case happened to Leeds, you would back them. I would back Leeds United to be bouncing straight back first time round if that were to happen. It's a long way from happening, but they're in the conversation for it to happen because they're second from bottom of the league, and you've got players coming out, with all respect to Luke, talking about the fact they like to play this brand of football. You've got to play some football that gets you points, that gets you out of the challenge that you're in, and then you can get better players, and then you can build, and then you can play whatever bleeding brand of football you want.
Well, one thing came out of it. They embrace the challenge, and they're going to give it everything they've got, but you'd expect that because it is Leeds United, and Leeds United go to Wolves on Saturday, 3 o'clock. And you can hear that. It's a talkSPORT 2 exclusive.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.